somewhere in this country, there are craft that are being held that have landed here or crashed here. And there are biologics, non-human bodies.
That's correct.
Someplace in this country?
Someplace.
In this program?
Correct.
Welcome back to Alien Wisconsin. I'm your host, Ian Stephen. We're in a moment where a long-held dream, real government transparency around UFOs, finally feels closer. Hearings, testimonies, and films like The Age of Disclosure have pushed this topic out of niche corners and into mainstream political and media discussions. Members of Congress now treat UAPs as legitimate national security issues. The press covers the topic seriously, and the White House is increasingly being asked to respond to bipartisan pressure. Today, we're looking at several examples from just this past week that show how the political, media, and cultural landscape is shifting as UFOs become part of the national dialogue. Let's start with Marco Rubio, one of the central figures in the Age of Disclosure and now serving as both the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor. In a recent appearance on Fox's Hannity, Rubio slightly distanced himself from the film.
People that came forward to us, some of these people were Navy pilots, admirals, generals, whatever, that would come forward and say, that there were programs in the U.S. government that not even presidents were made aware of. So I was describing what people had said to me, not things that I have firsthand knowledge of in that regard. A little bit of selective editing, but it's okay because, you're trying to sell a show there. But the fundamental comments, I haven't seen it, but the clips I've seen and people have shown me are fundamentally true. And that is, there are things, we know this has been documented. There have been things that fly over the airspace, restricted airspace, be it where we're conducting military exercises or the like, and everyone in the government says they're not ours. So that really was the point I was trying to drive at. I can't comment on the rest of the documentary. It has, as I said, claims from people that were former admirals, naval fighters, people with high clearances in government. Some of them are pretty spectacular claims. I'm not calling these people liars. I don't have independent knowledge that what they're saying is true. I just don't have any independent way to verify everything they said.
In Rubio's current roles, he should have unparalleled access to the nation's deepest secrets. So when he says he cannot verify certain whistleblower claims, it stands out as untrue. Journalist Christopher Sharp called this unusual, and many in the UAP community agree. According to Schellenberger, a senior Rubio advisor even said, "We're headed towards massive disclosure." Rubio isn't alone. This is part of a broader wave. Fox News recently featured producer Dan Farah discussing crash retrieval programs. CNN hosted a panel where Lou Elizondo framed UAPs as a national conversation that can no longer be dismissed. And outlets like the New York Times and the Washington Post now cover UAPs through the lens of policy, not ridicule. As of this recording, Fox News has interviewed 4 UFO-related guests in the last 2 weeks, giving them significant airtime.
Can I interrupt you, Dan?
Yeah.
One second.
Yeah.
Are you saying to me that Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed to you that not only do UFOs exist and life from some other location exists, but we are fully aware of it, and there's almost a Cold War going on that has never been revealed to the American people? Marco Rubio said that to you.
Rubio confirms on camera that UFOs, UAP, which they're now called, are in fact real. That's not a debate anymore. The only question now is who's controlling them, where are they from, what is their intention? He says on camera that UAP are penetrating our most secure airspace, like our nuclear weapons sites, our military bases, and it's a major concern.
Politically, The momentum continues. The Schumer rounds amendment would require major declassification of UFOs by 2026. Senator Gillibrand continues to press the DoD on underwater UAP encounters. Hearing terms like non-human intelligence on the House floor barely raises eyebrows anymore. Meanwhile, several statements suggest the White House is preparing for future disclosures. Dan Farah told TMZ that the president is interested in a careful, calming rollout, one meant to unify rather than shock. JD Vance has stated multiple times that he intends to get to the bottom of the UAP issue during his term, even calling himself obsessed with UFOs.
There are stories that I am particularly focused on, in part just because you talk with your buddies about it. Like, I'm obsessed with the whole UFO thing. What's actually going on? What were those videos all about? What's actually happening?
Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has echoed the urgency, and Chuck Schumer maintains pressure for declassification efforts he began in 2023. This is no longer fringe, it's becoming policy. There's a metaphor I like. War is a gradient. Conflicts don't start with a single announcement. They build step by step. Disclosure works the same way. A sudden revelation about non-human intelligence could cause chaos. Gradual preparation, hearings, screenings, official statements, films gaining national attention allow society to adjust. We aren't experiencing delays. We're watching a process designed to avoid panic and build acceptance. But the Trump White House has not been the most transparent. The Kennedy and the Epstein files still contain major omissions despite prior promises. Historically, presidents have approached this topic only to pull back at the last moment, fearing cultural impact. Is Trump the one to finally break the 80 years of secrecy? Is he willing and able to change history? I genuinely don't know. But pressure changes things, and today, pressure is building. The dawn of official acknowledgement is coming into view. So let's keep pushing, keep learning, and keep asking the right questions. Thank you for joining me on this journey. This has been Alien Wisconsin. Stay curious, stay connected. Ian Stephen, out.